In this presentation, I will be going over how a child welfare case proceeds in court. There will be a lot of information and details. We do not expect you to memorize every single part of this process, but we do expect you to be familiar enough so that you can have a general understanding of where your case is at in this process and what can still happen down the line. And remember, your supervisor is always there to help you understand and answer any questions you may have. When you receive your potential case, one of the first things you will notice is that it has a series of letters and numbers assigned to it. This is called the docket number. Every docket number will start with 2 letters. These letters indicate the type of case and where the case is at in the proceedings. When our cases get started, they're usually assigned in FN, which indicates that it is a child abuse or neglect case. As the case moves on, if other related petitions are filed, such as a petition to terminate parental rights, which we will talk about later on, other letters are assigned. The letters on this slide are the ones most likely to be on child court cases. In court, there are multiple participants on a case. There is a judge who hears the case. In Union County, there are 2 judges who hear children in court or CIC cases. The division is also a party to the case. They are equivalent to a plaintiff on our cases. The division is represented by a Deputy Attorney General or DAG. The caseworker or caseworker supervisor is typically present in court and they are the client. Parents or whoever the case is against are parties in the case as well. They're essentially the defendants on our cases. Sometimes the cases have multiple defendants, including multiple moms and or dads, grandparents, and other caregivers. The parents are entitled to representation, and if they cannot afford their own attorneys, they can fill out a 5A form, and a public defender will be assigned if they are found eligible. Each defendant must have their own attorney, even if they are married. It would be a conflict of interest for one attorney to represent more than one defendant. Additionally, if there is a language barrier, the court will provide interpreters. Finally, the child is part of the case as well. Sometimes children come to court, but more often the children's attorney will be in court, not the children themselves. Children's attorneys are called law guardians. Unlike the defendants, all children will be given the same law guardian. We occasionally have cases where there may be a conflict of interest among children and more than one law guardian is assigned, but this is rare. In just about all our cases, there is only one law guardian. For more information on law guardians, see the pamphlet that's been uploaded to the chapter. The court case is not when the division case first starts. The division case typically first starts when a call is made to the child abuse hotline. When a call is made, an investigation must be made to determine whether or not the children are safe. If the children are considered to be in imminent risk of harm during the initial investigation, the division will do an emergency removal, which is called a DOD removal. If the child is not considered to be at risk, the child will remain at home during the investigation. The court case starts when the DAG, which represents the division, first files paperwork called the complaint or order to show cause, which includes the allegations of abuse and neglect against the parents. And just note, for the ease of language for the rest of this presentation, I will be assuming the case is against a mom and a dad. If there is a DOD removal, the division at this point will be seeking the permission to continue the removal of the child. This is called having care, custody, and supervision of the child. If the child has not yet been removed, the division will either be seeking to remove the child and place the child in the division's care, or the division may be seeking to have oversight of the situation to make sure the child is not put at imminent risk, and this is called having care and supervision or Title 30 cases. Not all cases to the hotline result in court action. Most investigations close without the division getting involved with the family, or with the division able to offer some services to stabilize the family without the court getting involved. I just want to reiterate that at the time the complaint is filed, the children may or may not have already been removed, so we do have a significant number of cases where the children remain at home with the parents. When the division files a complaint, which outlines the history of what's going on in the case and includes the allegations of abuse and neglect, the parents are given notice to appear in court on the date set. It was mentioned earlier that they are given the opportunity to complete a 5A application to determine if they are financially eligible for free representation. If they qualify, they are assigned a public defender who works out of the Office of Parental Representation, also known as OPR. At initial hearing, the court will take testimony from the division to get more information on what is going on and to determine if removal is necessary. We as CASAs are almost never present at the first court appearance because we are often appointed on a case later on, although we are able to be appointed on a case as soon as the case opens in court. Other things that may happen on the first court appearance is that the court may authorize the division to provide the child with needed medical care, appoint a law guardian, grant any other interim relief that's needed, and make sure that the parties have copies of the court cases. A return date is then scheduled within 10 to 21 days of that court date. The second court date is called the return on the order to show cause. The court will confirm the appointment of legal representation and start asking about other family members or friends, as well as any absent parents. Make sure the parents understand the complaint and the allegations and determine whether or not there's a continued need for placement or protective services.